Jesse Norman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid to say that the past week has been another horror show for the government. This is Armed Forces Week, as the House will know. It's a time to celebrate and champion all those who serve and have served in our armed forces, and nowhere more than in my own county of Herefordshire. But we must also note that far from celebrating the armed forces, this government deliberately opened the door last year to unfair and vexatious prosecutions of veterans who served decades ago in Northern Ireland, and it has kept that door open. What else? Well, the original Abortion Act was debated for more than a year, but the government allowed no notice for public debate on the abortion amendment last week, and it gave just 2 hours of debate in the chamber on the biggest change in abortion law in nearly 60 years. That, whatever one thinks of the merits of the issue, is a scandalously bad way to make legislation. What else? Defence ministers were left out of the loop on the US bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities and were unable to say whether or not they supported this action by our closest ally. A government whip resigned, expressing her deep concerns over the welfare bill, and the government has promised to bring the bill forward next week, as we've just heard. Let's see if it does. And talking of U-turns, having only just U-turned on the winter fuel payment and again on grooming gangs last week, the government prepared itself for a U-turn on the two-child benefit cap less than a year since it suspended 7 Labour MPs for voting against that cap. And this is just 1 week. Is it any wonder, Mr. Speaker, that the Prime Minister's personal reputation has continued to plummet? Only yesterday, the Times of London said not quite a year has passed since his general election victory. Already his political stock is trading at junk status, akin to the Zimbabwean dollar or the Weimar papier mark. Now, Mr. Speaker, the papier mark, you may recall from your intimate knowledge of German history, was a monetary instrument which led to hyperinflation and political collapse. This is coming from the Times of London. Why don't we dig in a little bit further into one specific reason why the Prime Minister's reputation might have fallen so much. Following the record pay settlements of last year, the junior doctors have announced that they are, and I quote, excited at the idea of 6 months of strike action. Meanwhile, hospital consultants are balloting to see if they will strike as well. Doctors received a 22% increase last year after Labour took office. Now the junior doctors are apparently demanding a further pay increase of 29%. These are eye-watering numbers, and of course we will all end up paying if they are granted. But of course, I'm afraid this is exactly what you would expect from a government which has taxed and splurged the cash since the election. It's hardly surprising that the unions now think they have an open door to extract money from the Treasury, and the government's actually made the situation even worse by its rolling programme of nationalisations and by abolishing NHS England. NHS England, or whatever else it may have been, acted as a firebreak on union lobbying because it operated semi-independently of ministers. By abolishing it, the government's now removed one of the few means they had to face down extortionate demands for more pay and more restrictive practices. The same is true with the railways. As each one is nationalised, South West Rail only last week, so the obstacles to union demands are progressively being removed. The House will recall the massive pay settlements given to the rail unions last year with no attempt to negotiate any efficiency gains. So in the amount of time before those unions come back for more, as the doctors are doing. Mr. Speaker, these are not pay bargains, they are an abject surrender. Of course, ministers themselves don't mind. After all, 90% of them are reported to be union members. As far as I can see, the Leader of the House is an exception to this. She is not a union member, and all credit to her for that. OK, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry to say, Mr. Minister, she's actually corrected me. She is in fact a union member and therefore fully complicit in the same problem. But it means that the Treasury itself is now the only holdout against union demands. Little wonder the Chancellors looked so unhappy and out of sorts. And that's before the Deputy Prime Minister started leaking memos calling for billions of pounds a year in tax increases. Mr. Speaker, the unions know the government is vulnerable and they've come back for more. Backbench MPs know on the Labour side that the government is running scared as well. And led by their committee chairs, they are starting to get organised. So can the leader positively and personally now confirm that the welfare bill vote will take place next Tuesday?